All right, what's up, everybody? Another day, another vlog. Just want to say welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show. Looks like we are starting to get a lot of people in on the comments already, so I do appreciate that. Like I was saying, if this is your first time, tuning in to the show, my name is Chakits Kruksawat, a licensed real estate agent out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome to the LV Home Experts Radio Show. I know that I'm saying that again and again, and the reason why is because, again, operator error. I actually had the audio off, so oh well. But anyway, we have a very special guest today, James Sharp, and he's going to tell us what's going on with the housing market. It's always nice to bring on another real estate agent to get a second, third, fourth, even a fifth opinion of what's going on, because everything is just based upon opinion, and that's all it is, right? Also, James has a fascinating story, right? So we want to get into this story, how he got into real estate, and I think some of you guys can actually relate. Let's just get right into it. I mean, here we go. I mean, we got Dan. Hey, Dan. See, look, operator error. I don't know what is going on today.
Hey, I'm a little upset, man.
I know
that you had that long intro.
Yeah.
And I was like, my time to get ready and just be like, look at my phone. And you just hopped right into it, man.
Yeah, I literally did. I don't even know why. Like, because there was like so much going on. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you had your doors closed.
Exactly.
When I got here, so.
Anyway, I just want to say welcome to the show, James. James Sharp with Realty One, folks. That's right. Realty One. So, James, I want to get right into it. So, tell us. Okay.
Yep.
When did you get into real estate, and why did you even get into real estate? This is like the shittiest business you can get into.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even do it?
Well, you know, when you're sitting on your ass and you have no money in your pocket and you need to make a career change, you know, real estate pops up. I think it's a second career for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough though to have a family friend, Chad Williams, who is the team lead of our team at Realty One Group. He was a family friend for a while.
Okay.
And you know, he has the Cadillac Escalade. He's got the boat. He's got the nice house. I'm like, okay, I'll hang out with this guy for a little bit, see what's going on. And I went up to him. I was like, you know, you think I could do this? And he was like, you know, a lot of people ask me that. And most of the time I'm like, you know, it's not really for you. He's like, but I think you got a good shot here. And so I was like, okay. I went and got my license. And I was lucky enough to be able to just follow him around for like 6 months. I was
that's cool.
Right behind him every step of the way. Hearing all the phone calls, hearing, you know, how he negotiates, how he shows houses, how he takes listing appointments. I got like that baptism by fire right away. And I mean, I know for a fact that was monumental in where I am today.
That's actually really good, because a lot of real estate agents don't have somebody to be mentored by.
I always say, God bless you if you can do this by yourself coming straight out of school, but I don't understand how anyone can do this without like joining a team.
Yeah.
Our team has grown to like 50 agents now. I'm actually the director of team development, and we get other agents from other brokerages and stuff. And it's like, I've heard stories about like, oh yeah, I was ready to write an offer. And then I went up to my broker and I was like, oh, hey, I need help writing this offer. And the broker was like, I have an opening next Friday at, 3 PM. And they're like, what? Like, I need to do this right now.
Right now. Yeah.
So, I see the future of this. And now I'm not talking about people that have been doing this forever. They can obviously hang themselves, but like the newer people, join a team just for a little bit, like, cause you need that. I think that's why we have such a high turnover rate in this industry. 80% don't renew their license after the first year or something like that.
Thank God.
No, right? It's not going to get any, and that number is not going to improve. With
especially in today's market.
This is probably the hardest housing market to be a realtor, especially if you're getting started.
Yeah.
It's got to be up there as far as top 3.
Why do you say that?
Just because you got to think that if you don't have things established, and now you're competing against other agents, right? And you don't know really how to get started, and your marketing's not there. I don't see how you're going to survive, because the people that the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top, and that's what's happening.
To a certain extent, but let me rebuttal that, because when I got into the market, this is when the housing market crashed. I didn't know better. I was going in while everybody was coming out. And it was literally hard to sell a $80,000 home. Yeah. Right? Like, I literally had to like pound the pavement and to get things done. I'm just saying, during that time period, I think my first year, I probably made like $24,000, right? But in today's market, as long as you have the tenacity and the drive, I'm sure you can make a lot more than $24,000, within 12 months.
Yep.
So I think it just comes down to the, individual.
Then here's the thing though, is like, so why do people don't make it? It's because, like you said, you have all the tools and everything in place when you join a team. You got to figure all that out. Try to figure that out and then survive in this market. That's the problem.
Yep.
So James, let me ask you this. We talked earlier. You said that you was part of like some sort of group or something. Or weren't you like an alcoholic or something?
Oh yeah, yes, that group.
What was it? Yeah, that group.
No, yeah, like I said though, I worked on the Strip. I was in that industry. I was doing that thing. Kind of got the best of me. Booze and drugs and things like that, and kind of had that coming to Jesus moment where
like when was that moment where you said, you know what, I'm just tired. I'm done with this. I want to change my life.
I just remember like opening up like the trunk of my car and seeing like 3 empty handles of vodka, and I was like,
wow, you was drinking like that?
Yeah, I was drinking like that. It was bad.
Is that really in a day or is that over a period of time?
No, that wasn't in a day. But, I always had to keep that vodka on me, and and then when booze wasn't enough, you turn to other things, and it was just, I was never a type of guy that'd be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have one tonight. Just have one. Like it was like, no, if we're jumping in this pool, we're going head first. And it's like, so that caught up with me, and I, thank God by the support of my wife and my dad and my family and my friends, I was able to get sober. I just had my 4-year sobriety anniversary in February. Yeah. So,
oh yeah.
Yep. So it's been a blessing.
So how did you go through that though? Like, was it like more of a mental state that, hey, I'm gonna quit, or did you have to go to like some sort of like counseling or something like that?
I was lucky enough to be able to, and again, I'm just such an open book when it comes to this stuff. I had nothing. I had no money whatsoever, and I had like $25,000 in credit card debt. And my dad threw me a life preserver, if you will, and was able to pay for some of a better recovery system, if you will, getting to go not and I tried AA, just wasn't for me. I didn't,
I mean, the statistics of people coming out, it helps, but it doesn't like curve the whole position of what, like, I have personal experience, right?
Yeah.
My brother,
yeah,
I have my sister,
yeah,
and so it's funny because for me, I was like, you should just figure this out. Like, it shouldn't be that hard, and again, it sounds easy.
Yeah, it does sound
But then
easy.
it's like a whole different world when you start to witness and see it go through with them.
Yep.
It's just a different world. This is a true.
Oh yeah, it's a disease.
It's a disease.
It's a disease.
100%.
And I actually apologize if I make it sound easy, because it's not easy.
It's not, man.
I think you eventually get over a hump though, where you can just say to yourself, okay, let me look at my life when I was drinking, and let me look at it now. Like, it's like a whole nother world.
The other thing too is like you seek other options, right? And you like search, like, okay, who can help, right? If you don't have a family member that makes money, dude, it costs like sometimes $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to go to these retreats.
Yeah, really.
And the statistics and success for people to get out of alcoholism are higher there, but the premium you have to pay for it,
right? Yeah.
And if you want to just go and say, hey, I'm going to go and take you somewhere, it doesn't mean you can't get over it. 2 things will happen. It's either that person has to get to a point, no matter what you tell them or how much money you give them or what they do, they got to get to a point where they're just fed up with their life.
Yeah. Yep.
Or you have to get real help.
Yep.
Not, I'm going to go spend $500.
Nah.
And we're going to say, okay, let's talk to a shrink, or,
right.
It's got to be like a lifestyle change completely.
Right. Yeah. And I always say too, because like now that people know that I'm sober, people will come to me and be like, I have a brother, or my, my dad, or my mom, whatever it is. And I just say to them, listen, I wish I could put my superhero cape on and wrap my arms around all of them and help. But it's like, if they're not ready for help, you can't help them. If they're just not at that like absolute ground zero,
And that's a point of either they don't come back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the tough thing.
Or they make that decision, and it usually comes to that. And that's the unfortunate part of it.
Well said.
So Don says this to James. He goes, it can be really hard for people to get off of drugs and alcohol. So kudos to you.
Thank you, Don.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's very hard.
Yeah,
look at that. We got some support here.
Yeah, especially in this town too, right? I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, there's a PTs on every corner, 24/7, open, ready to roll. You know, but yeah, no, I'm open to talk to anyone.
Well, good for
about
you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Came out of it. Seemed like a solid guy, ready to go.
Yeah,
I think that's very important for people to understand, you know, our guests and who they are, because I know it's on social media. You could be whoever you want, but you know, I think where people can relate is if you be yourself, right?
Right.
Everybody's got problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got a story.
You can sit here and act like everybody's making money and your life's killing it and you're on the boat and whatever.
You're right.
You go home, everybody's got some issues, man.
Everyone's got stuff to deal with.
Now, how long have you been selling real estate?
So going on 4 years now too. So it was kind of right as I got sober, got into real estate and just been doing it ever since.
So one of the fascinating stories that I heard about you is that you actually closed on a deal with one of the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Let's talk about that because I think this is so interesting, right?
Yeah. So I was, I don't know, probably about just over a year into the industry or into real estate.
Yeah.
And I probably closed like 2 deals. It was rough getting started. It's tough getting started. It's tough for this train to eventually leave the station, but then once it gets rolling, you know. So I was sitting there. It was 2019. Raiders are playing their last year in Oakland. And I'm like, okay, I got nothing going on, nothing but time. I remember just sitting in my office literally like, okay, I've told every friend or family that I'm a real estate agent now like 8 times. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. Raiders are coming here. That's 53 guys that need a new house.
Yeah.
I literally pulled up the roster and I had my phone and I went on Instagram and I looked up every single player, followed them all, and then sent them all a DM. That was just simple, like, hey, my name is James Sharp. Me and my wife do real estate out here. If you're looking for a house when you come out here, I'd be more than happy to help you. Just real generic. And I think I remember just like I copied it and I changed out the first name of each player and just fired away.
Pretty much it was all crickets.
It was all crickets.
I thought that was gonna be the sour song. Like
no, that was
wah,
actually that was supposed to be the cricket, but I don't know why it's written on here. But that's the wrong button.
York's fired.
Like I'm literally like messing up all day.
The studio's just completely.
I was like trying
to. Down today.
I know. I was literally trying to build it up to hit the button, but I was wrong. So
you're fine.
I can do it for you. Want me to do a cricket song?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how to do it. What is it?
I don't know.
Let me see. I don't know. It's kind of hard, I guess. I don't know.
It's pretty tough to do a cricket.
Okay.
Yeah. Cricket, I can't do it. I can do something.
Well, it was crickets for 1 week, and then a player responded.
Let me try another one.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
One responded. There you go.
That was good.
That's the one I was looking for.
So he responded and he was like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, hit me up after the season. So I was like,
were you like all excited? Like, oh my God.
I was excited, but I'm also the first to admit, I had no idea who this person was.
Oh, really?
I had no idea who he was. He didn't really have his coming out yet.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, well, I'll hit this guy up when the season's over. And then the season ended. And of course, now it's like, I got to cross another bridge here. Is he going to respond again now?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or was it just like, yeah, buddy. Okay, sure. And then I was like, hey, season's over. You want to, when, you know, you coming to town soon? Cause like the Raiders started doing like, you know, like stadium, you know, shovel ceremony, like, hey, meet the Raiders and everything like that. So he was coming to town and he was like, yeah, you know, when I come, you show me around. Or I was like, I'll show you around, show you, like, let's stay in the Henderson area where the practice facility is. Like, that's probably where you're going to want to be. Okay. And he was like, and he responded. He's like, yeah, okay, cool. Here's my number. Like, hit me up. I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I got to figure out who this is. And I look it up and I'm like, it's Darren Waller. And I'm like, who's Darren Waller? And I was like, I start reading and I'm like, wait a second. You're telling me that this is the guy that got kicked out of the league for drugs and alcohol, that OD'd, you know, 5 minutes away from the stadium when he was playing for the Baltimore Ravens. This is the guy? This is the guy that responded back to me? I was like, this is too, like, what a
maybe it was like faith.
Oh,
you know 100%. What I'm saying?
I believe in that because I'm like, this is too good to be true.
You know, it's cool. I just curious.
Yeah.
How do you get somebody's, like, the team's numbers like that?
No. So I just looked up their names and then Instagram, Darren Waller. Oh,
you shot it through Instagram.
Yeah, all DMs.
I was like, I thought you texted them. I was like, wait a second, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, all DMs.
All DMs.
This is cutting out.
Well, it's probably cutting out because you see that connection right here?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to move it, but I can actually hear you.
We're good. Okay, it's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so got him out here, showed him around. Showed him some resale, showed him some new construction. He ended up really falling in love with Blue Heron, which is a great builder out here. Shout out Blue Heron. Modern, contemporary look, beautiful stuff. Ended up like, hey, you know, I just want to rent for the first year. Like, it's 2020. We got COVID going on. We don't even know if there was going to be an NFL season back then. So got him. Yeah, I was sweating, but I was like, oh my God, biggest deal ever. We could like close on something. And then it was like,
then he's renting.
There might not be a season. I'm like, of course. So
crazy.
Got him a rental though. Stayed in contact with him, obviously. Stayed on top of Blue Heron.
But by then you already had his number and all that.
Oh yeah, and then we were tight. We were talking, you know, we're talking war stories and like, oh man, you know, this is what I went through. This is what, you know, he has a foundation out here now, Darren Waller Foundation, that helps, you know, the youth stay off drugs and alcohol and everything like that. I went to every one of those. Huge supporter of him and everything he's doing for the kids of this community. So, I mean, fast forward, you know, got a rental, stayed in contact with him. We finally then were able to get him under contract. Beautiful house up in Henderson. And it should be done by the end of this year.
Nice. And now you guys are like friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're buddies now. Yep.
The good news is that would be a seller too, because once he leaves or he buys another home.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, we got him in. We got him in at a great time. And I mean, by the time he gets those keys, he's going to have a ton of equity in that house. So
now I want to get into the Las Vegas housing market. I want a different perspective here because on this show, we can always preach that, hey, the market is great. You know, the market has gone up so dramatically. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. I think since the beginning of the year, I think last week we had a conversation and we're gone up about like 11.2% or something like that. It's pretty dramatic within like, you know, a little bit over 90 days. And I just pulled some numbers again, and it looks like home pricing just keeps going up. The question is that how high can the home price go up before it actually crashed? Like obviously we don't know when. I mean, with everything that's going on, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
you want to take this one first?
You're the guest. Go ahead.
what are your thoughts? Do you think it can go up even more?
They hear my thoughts all the time. I think everyone wants to hear yours.
I mean, okay, the short answer to me is I wish I had the crystal ball to know when this is. And I'll be the first to admit, I actually hope that it calms down a little bit because...
Like crashes or like
no, not
down?
crashes. Maybe plateaus a little bit. Some kind of slowdown because I have been, you know, spending tons of hours with buyers who... And it's fatiguing for them. I feel for them because we're submitting multiple offers. I have to now have like a buyer, like pre-buyer meeting with my buyers to just kind of like set the table and just like, listen, I know you've heard how this market is. Everything you've heard is probably true.
Yeah.
We're going to write more offers. We're going to need to go see more homes. And 99% of the time we're going to be in multiple offer situations.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to set that clear right now. Like, because your dad bought a home in 1973 in Buffalo, New York, and you think you know everything about the real estate market, you don't.
Oh, it doesn't work that way?
No, it does not. So I think like setting those expectations with them is huge. But to get back to your response, I don't know when it's going to. I have to tell people all the time that have lived here for a long time, like, that they can't grasp what's going on, right? Yeah. And me and my wife bought our house in 2013.
Oh, good time to buy.
Yeah, new construction from the ground up. It's 1,500 square foot house, $153,000.
Wow, and I remember $153,000 was a lot of money. I'd pay anything for $153,000.
Exactly. So it's hard for people that have been in this town for a while that remember those days that are now like, wait a second, you know, the house in Old Henderson just sold for $350. Like, how is that even possible? Well, we have the Raiders, we have the Knights, we're a big city now.
Yeah.
Like, we're growing,
yeah,
you know,
I agree.
To no bounds. And then obviously you have all of the California people that are moving here, coming in with cash in pocket, snatching up a ton of things. I know all the big, you know, conglomerates are buying up houses too. But, so, I mean, I think I take it case by case. You know, certainly if someone's renting right now and they can still qualify and they can get into a house, I mean, again, the interest rate on renting is 100%, right?
Yeah.
You know, so if you want to get out of renting, I still think it's a good time to buy. I know the interest rates aren't the 2 point whatevers and the low threes anymore, but kind of when in doubt, zoom out, right? Like our parents paid 18, 19, 20% for their house, like gladly. They were like, yeah, sign me up. Love this. So, you know, to each their own, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know when it's going to slow down.
I appreciate that honest answer because
yeah.
people ask me all the time, like, dude, I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be selling real estate.
Yeah, right. I'd be picking lottery numbers, right?
So I mean, I definitely do appreciate that. So now let me ask you this: your clients, would you say they are mostly cash or financing? What are you seeing out there?
I get a fair share of both, but most lately have been financed, and it's a sign of the times that probably 5 out of the last 7 clients that I have just settled on new construction.
Yeah,
they grew tired of writing multiple offers and being let down. And I think too, it also got to a point where it's not even fun anymore. Like I had one client where it was just like, I think I wrote him 32 offers for this guy.
32 offers.
32 offers.
Did he look at all 32 homes?
No, he was we did. I did. We did
wow.
video FaceTime tours because he's in California. But his name's Justin. And I was like, Justin, do you even want
It's not Bieber, is it?
No, it's not. Okay. I sent him a DM now. But
that would have been dope.
But he would just be like, oh, let's go see. Hey, do you like I like these 5 houses. Okay. Hey, Justin, 3 of them are still available. Okay. We'll go look at 3 of them. Just write my highest and best for all 3. And I was like, do you even want? And he's like, I don't know. I just need to move. And I'm like, and he was so not new construction. I was like, let's go look at new construction. Showed him some new construction, found one that fit all his needs. I go, Justin, you sign here. This thing is done in August, and we can kick our feet up and relax. And he was like, and I was like, and no one can come in and outbid you. No one can come steal the lot that you just bought. And he's like, okay, yeah, sign me up for this.
So what you're saying right now, if you're having a tough time, it's probably best to go to a new homes track.
I mean, I would say just keep all your options open, right?
Yeah.
Like don't poo anything, And actually, the new construction that we got him is actually a townhome. It's a duplex, but it's also going to be built in 2022. It's 1,700 square feet, and it's brand new. We're looking at stuff that was built in 2000 that doesn't look nearly as nice. That might be smaller and it's more expensive. And I'm like, so I think just keep all your options open.
So the new homes has more inventory. Is that what you're saying? It's easier to get in. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's like if you went over to like Inspirata, dude, you're like on a waiting list, like 400 deep.
So, hopefully you have and also always use a real estate agent when you buy new construction.
Why is that?
Because we look out for your best interest. We're going to make sure that you get all your credits and incentives. And if something goes south, it's not just you versus the builder. It's you and me and my brokerage versus the builder. So people think that when you just walk in there, the person behind the desk, oh, that's who I use. No, that person works for the builder. Their best interests lie with the builder.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone on your team. Icing on the cake, how much does it cost?
Free 99.
Free.
Yeah,
free representation. So I don't know, and each builder's different.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the ones that I prefer. Some of them have pretty rough systems for the way that they select their new purchasers. There's some rather extensive lottery systems that I'd rather not dabble in. Some still do it the right way, the old school way of, oh, you're here, you're ready. Okay, cool.
Do you think they do that so that way they can create like a frenzy where it's like panic mode, panic buying? Get in this list, because that's what I did with like one of my clients, right? And it's with KB Homes, and what they do is they do a lotto. So like every Thursday or every Friday, or maybe it could be every other Thursday or Friday, you go down, there's tons of people, you draw your name in a hat, whatever your number is, now that's where you place in line. Then once they release 3 lots, they'll contact the 1, 2, 3. Hey, this lot's available if you want it. If not, move on, and it'll keep moving on. So that's what happened to my client.
Yeah.
This freaking guy drew 140. I'm like, dude, how you going to draw 140?
Yeah.
Right? So now he's like at, last at the line. But we cracked up about it. So we went over to the Northwest. We looked at different areas. And some of these builders will actually have some standing inventories now. And that's what I'm starting to see. And basically, we just got into a standing inventory that's already pre-spec'd out, and we're finishing up on the home now. So, I mean, there are some homes now, especially new home builds, depending on the location.
Right.
I noticed that, there are some standing inventories. Also, another thing, guys, if you guys want the list of standing inventories and also pocket listings, I'm the only guy that has it here. It comes through my email all the time, okay? So shoot us an email, reach out to York, or send us a DM. I'll be happy to connect with you and hook you guys up with that list. But now going back here with the new homes, what I also realized it's also dependent based upon the location. Like I said, if you went over to like Inspirada, you couldn't do that, dude.
Nope. North
like
Vegas,
yeah. So like,
so here's the question. And I see this a lot. How does that conversation go with your client, right? Like, okay, I know you like this house. Chances you getting this house are pretty slim. Where if you come over here, you're not going to get everything you want, but you might get something right now. Yeah. Like, are they like, hey, I'm going to do it?
Yeah, because most of the time it's like I need to move. Like I need to find something. And I think everyone starts with, okay, I really want this. And it's very like tunnel vision focused, you know? Yeah. And then you go and you get kind of smacked across the face with like the reality of like, okay, it's either too expensive or, I mean, how long would he have waited if he really wanted a KB home, right? Yeah. Like, so...
And the price would go up. That's one of your challenges, right? You know?
And then, you know, interest rates grow, everything goes up, right? So I think I call it walking the dog. You take every buyer down the path and eventually you get to where you need it to be. You don't start there, but you need to get out there and show them and be like, oh yeah, you like this new construction because you pulled it up online and it said base price $490. And then when we got here, we realized that the lot premium's $20,000. Upgrades are going to be at least another 20. Oh, and the elevation is 5,000. And all of a sudden now this house is $600K. And you're like, wow, wait, what? So, okay, but hey, you like this builder or you like this floor plan. Well, there's another one maybe in North Las Vegas, or there's another one in another area that maybe you never liked or you didn't know about, you know? So that's why it's just up to us to get out there. And I just always say, let's get out there and stand in the middle of the street. Do we like it out here? Do we like this vibe? Do we want to be out here? No? Okay, then back to the drawing board. You know?
What's the average price point that you are working with buyers?
Well, now, you know, of course, it used to be like 300, but now I say like 400 is the new 300. It's crazy what's going on.
Is that a tough market right now?
It is. I mean, I feel for anyone that's like FHA, you know, 350.
Like are you even still dealing with an FHA?
Oh yeah, no, because I mean, I still always like to. I'm not at that point where I'm like, oh hey, you know, I can't work with you.
I am. I'm like, hey, we got to change the financing, bro. This ain't gonna work.
Right. Well, I'll always tap a lender and be like, hey, any way we can get this conventional?
Well, you'd be like, hey, I need to add somebody on that loan. Who can get on that loan with you, right?
Exactly.
I mean, why would somebody have to go FHA versus conventional at 3% down versus FHA and 3.5% down, Dan?
Credit.
Okay, so if you had shitty credit,
reserves.
So basically, FHA would be a little bit more lenient on it, right? So
yep, I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
person had collections. Credit scores a 630.
Yeah,
right. Let's say it's even a 660.
Yeah,
collections, things on their credit, and they've had a shaky past, but now they've kind of recovered. It might not get approved with conventional because it's very credit score driven. Where FHA will come in and be like, well, you have some blemishes, but we'll still take the risk.
But the only downfall is that if you went conventional versus FHA, head to head with the seller, right? You know, the seller is probably going to accept a conventional because the guidelines are a lot easier to get qualified for when it comes to the appraisal. They're going to be a more lenient.
They look
than the
solid.
FHA. Yeah,
they look solid too.
But I mean, here's the thing: you can be a solid FHA buyer, like if you had money down, right, where you're putting a big chunk down. But your credit's not great. However, you're putting such a big chunk down and you're showing your financials and you're willing to pay above the appraisal and you can show that, hey, look, I got the money. I'm just doing this program. So now it has nothing to do with it.
It's plus the appraisal.
Yeah.
At VA and FHA, they have more restrictions on the appraisal. Yeah. So if you have problems with a house, they be, hey, it's not FHA approved.
Yeah.
So are you seeing right now in the market that people are still paying above the appraised value?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Yeah. Like how much would you say?
So, I mean, I think the minimum is 5,000 above appraised value. I don't think I've ever seen anything
in addition to the closing costs?
Yeah. I'm seeing that more too. I'm seeing buyers pick up like transfer fees and they're picking up anything they can. You know, everyone's trying to sweeten the deal.
I got a question for you about that. What about concurrent? Like you have to sell your house to get into another house. That's happening all the time. Everybody's like
good luck.
Yeah.
Like there's been a couple transactions right now that I'm doing where you know, the seller wants everything. I'm talking about like, dude, I'm doing a free lease back for the next 90 days. Like just some crazy shit like that. I'm like, dude.
Yep. I got a lady 45 days free. Yep. And
free?
Free lease back. Close it.
Man, who wants to live for a month and a half for free?
That's what
me.
You know, Yeah.
I'm writing lease backs all day.
Oh, I would. If But yeah, no, I mean, anything contingent, that's tough. That's tough. Because it's so funny, right? You're sitting in your ivory tower as a seller. Everything's great. Everyone's coming to you. And then you got to go right into the trenches as soon as you.
Is that Wolf Blitzer? I hear some news music. Is that Wolf Blitzer music?
Here it is.
Oh wait, hold on.
There you go. That was better than the crickets.
On today's news for single-family residents,
I'm Chakits Kruksawat from Simply Vegas. I am your host tonight.
All right, so let's take a look at this, guys, real quick for single-family residents, detached homes. So our last show, right, 7 days ago, the median price point for a home was $465,000. That's median across the board. 6 days on the market, which is crazy. 7 days later, market is hot. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's hot because the heat's coming.
Yeah.
We're closing out at $485,000. That's up 4.2% within 7 days. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Like, that tells me that if we look since the beginning of the year, we almost hit like 15%. Like,
oh, I think we're going to be at 45 by the end of the year. What do you guys think? I'm just
like the way that the numbers are going.
I wouldn't shock me though.
Like, I really feel like this is. I was predicting 14% by the end of the year.
Yeah.
The way that things are going, but I'm seeing like 20% at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Remember, the average household income here is about $56,000. Pretty soon, we're about to supersede this. This is the craziest thing. So it's like, the way that the market is going, like, how high can we even go?
Well, that tells you if you're an average person buying a home today.
Yeah.
Okay. You make $56,000. That's about $5,000.
You got 2 cars,
right? Well,
you got probably 3 kids.
Let's not even say 2 cars. Let's say I get it, but your mortgage payment on the average price today at $450 is probably running you about $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000.
Yep.
And that's at $450. This
you won't even qualify for the mortgage at this point, almost.
Nope.
So
the mortgage itself.
So that tells you that a lot of people that live in Nevada, what do we call them? Nevadans?
Yep.
Las Vegans.
Las Vegans?
Nevadans?
I don't know. Whatever.
Somewhere than Adams.
Yeah.
If it's an Adams, then it's all good. You don't.
So they're just an atom. They're just an atom.
Whatever you say, it's just
so
people Adams.
It's like, I mean, think about it. All the people that work at the casinos, like, think about this. This is our primary sector here, right?
Yeah. The backbone of the city, right?
Exactly. So that tells me a lot of them can't even get a home. Like, I'm starting to see the news now. People that's been here 5, 10, 15 years, they cannot get a home. They're getting frustrated.
Yeah.
You're not the guy that was on the news writing 32 offers, were you?
That is him, isn't it?
I'm surprised it didn't. I mean, no, it wouldn't even make the news though, because I'm sure there's probably other realtors that are like, "Oh yeah, I've written 40 offers." Like, it's not.
He was on the news for Darren Waller.
But I mean, that's just as crazy. I mean, I just don't know how high we can go to the point where
it can't keep going up forever.
Exactly.
Right? Nothing goes up forever.
So I mean, do you think we're going to go up another 10 more percent, 20 more percent?
I mean, we're headed into the busy season, right? School's ending.
Yeah.
Like
good point.
Tax season just got past us. Like, we've never had a slow summer.
Well, I can say that mortgage applications are down.
All right.
Ooh.
There we go.
Maybe that.
I can also say that
that's a start.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big part of it. So,
I don't really think it's going to affect it that much, right? Unless interest rates go up to 6.5%.
Yeah.
I think that's when we'll start to see a turnaround like at 6.5%, because imagine this 6.5, right? 6.5%. Let me just do the calculations here.
I think the only way you can really look at saying, okay, a crash is going to happen is you'd have to have an abundance of properties in a short window of time come on the market. And then demand would have to just completely go away.
Right.
If you do that, just like what happened in 5 and 6, I can't see that happening. What would contribute to that? Maybe higher rates than what we have now. Yeah. We've seen that, it's kind of corrected itself a little bit with this, where maybe, because look, at the end of the day, we need balance.
Yeah.
Right. The pendulum can't be too much one way.
Right.
Right. And so what rates are doing is it's bringing that balance.
Yeah.
But you can't have rates this high for a long period of time, because then nobody will buy, and especially if they go up.
Right.
Who's going to, do I think rates are crazy high? No, I don't, but I still think it's different from what people are accustomed
Well,
to.
let me give you an example. Okay, this is a app calculator through Zillow, right? Anybody can jump on Zillow and get this app. It's free. If I just did 480,000 at 5% down with a 5% interest rate in today's market, obviously we got property taxes, a little bit HOAs, you're roughly about $2,600 a month. That's almost $30,000 a year. So basically making $56,000 a year, that's already half your income. Yep. So majority of that is going towards a mortgage. Not only that, you got inflation, everything's so expensive. Yeah. You can barely live. So now let's just say, right, the feds are going to raise rates again. Let's just say if we start hitting at 6%, now it's about $2,900 a month. That's $300. That's another $3,600 a year discretionary income that you could have spent. So basically, you're just
Does
really
that have mortgage insurance and taxes on there?
Yeah, this is just kind of like a dummy version. Okay, so we got principal.
Might even be higher is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we got principal and interest. We got taxes and just home insurance, and that's it. But I mean, there's obviously other things that are involved with, having a home. But I just want you to see what the delta is, right? Just based upon this quick math here. The spread is like $300 by going up 1%. And what I'm saying here is that if you are on a budget, which is about 85% of the Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, barely enough to scrape by, dude, like, you lose your job, that's it. It's getting to the point where everything is getting so expensive. And the question is, where is that high point? And I think we're pretty much already there. But what's helping continuing this housing market, it's number one, it's low inventory. Reason why we have low inventory is probably because of migration patterns, right? The migration patterns are going to be based upon every state law and policy. Like California, everybody's trying to get out because you get anus raped, right? So the other thing is that, a lot of people are retiring. If you look at the baby boomers, that generation, there's over 20,000 baby boomers retiring every single day. So that pushes that migration pattern, right? Because think about this. If you're getting older and you're on a budget where, hey, I can only spend $5,000 a month, where do I move to go live? You're not going to California.
No.
Also, if you got a pension, you ain't going to California because you're going to be taxed, right? So you're looking at all this stuff. But that's why if you look at Las Vegas is still one of the youngest metropolitan areas that is still growing. And we still have an opportunity to grow even further. But it's going to get to a point where, you know what? Everything's just too expensive.
Yep.
We got to relocate. So that's what we need to figure out today is where is that threshold? The problem is I don't know.
Well, I think the threshold is when consumer confidence in the economy starts to dwindle.
Yeah.
As far as your everyday spending, that's going to play a big part if you can even afford a mortgage.
Yeah.
The second thing is that where do rates go from here? They keep going up. Is that going to just push people off the market altogether? And the other thing is, where do you go afterwards?
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to sell your house and you're taking a 6% rate and you're getting a higher rate or a higher mortgage, or you're paying more for a home, then what do? Do you stay put or do you move?
Yeah.
Now, some people might say, I'm going to move from Vegas and I'm going to go inward, right? Or I'm going to go to another location that's cheaper, just like California's doing. It's almost a trickle-down effect. So I think that there's options for people, but it might not be the options that you think it is, where we're going to do the traditional way of we're just going to sell and upsize. And there might be people that do that. But again, there's a lot of factors with this, And
even I've noticed, like, with investors are having a hard time where, they have a property, they're making, $1 or $2 million on a property. They want to sell and do a 1031 exchange, but okay, you make this money, you're doing a 1031 exchange. Where do you even park your money at? Because you can't roll it back into real estate, because also there's nothing out there that even makes sense. It's like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like you're sitting in an equity position, but you can cash out, but then it's like you don't want to park that money in the bank because inflation is about 8%. That's what they say, but we know inflation is a lot higher than that. But it's like your money's rotting away, but then you need to park that money somewhere. But as you park that money, right, what asset class do you put it in? Because every asset class right now is overinflated. So it's kind of like, I feel like people are kind of like sitting and kind of waiting and watching, like
well, you just
what do we do? What do we do?
Just put it in Netflix stock.
Netflix stocks?
Yeah.
Nah, hell no.
Dude, it dropped.
I would never take advice from you.
How much that dropped today?
I would never take advice from you.
That's like a big stock falling today. People just go all in. You'll save your life savings. If you have your life savings, put it all in. Just see what happens.
So James, let me ask you this. So when you have a buyer that comes to you and they are at the price $450, $500, which is, we know that's like such a difficult price point to be at.
That's a bloodbath.
It's like, as soon as somebody comes to me with that, I'm like, look, man, you're swimming with the sharks right now.
Yep.
This is not easy. If you're not willing to settle, I don't know if I could help you.
Yep.
All right? Because I'd be setting myself up for failure. How is that conversation between you and that buyer? Like,
so
what advice can you actually give them?
I know there's no time to waste. It's just better to just be straight up with them. And I hate always possibly coming off as that like used car salesman, like real estate agent, where it's like, well, you're going to have to put a bunch of money over appraised value. And like, because if they're a first-time home buyer, let's just say they're a first-time home buyer, I want it to be a good experience. I know it's going to be tough. It's going to be emotionally taxing and draining. And, you know, we're going to take some shots and we're going to have to get back up.
Yeah.
But again, I think they all appreciate just your insight. This is why they hire you, right? We're the professionals. So, hey, listen, I'm just going to tell you what I've been seeing in the market. Okay. List price is just a starting point. That's it.
Ooh.
List price is list price is just a number. It's just a number. That's the jump off point. That's really what it is. So if you have, and we need to get rid of any past, like, oh, well, again, like, oh, my sister bought a house in 2013 and she got 20K under list price. Okay. Different market. Like, so we need to, hey, where are you at? What have you heard about the market? That's always a good one. Okay. If you already are up to speed on everything, cool. I don't have to go over a lot of stuff. It's going to be and it's kind of like what I said before. We're going to need to see more houses. We're going to need to write more offers, and we're always going to be in a multiple offer situation. You know, like all those, the beautiful house that just popped up in Inspirata, cool. Like 400 people also like that house. Like, so we got to get ready. We need to make sure that our financing is straight. That certainly needs to, like, we need to be, you know, ready to roll, like, with the lender. And then, you know, really it's just about getting out there and making sure that they like the house. Let's write an offer. And what can we do to sweeten our pot? I've personally paid for HOA transfer fees before. I'll throw that in there. If paying $300 for a transfer fee makes me get the deal, sounds good. I do believe that most winning offers now, and I'm talking about that beautiful, you know, perfect house in the heart of Green Valley or in Summerlin, whatever it is, like the house that everyone's going for, it's going to have money over appraised value.
Yeah.
Or the appraisal contingency is going to be waived completely. So now again, like I said, I'll take the dog for a walk here. If we need to write a few offers at list price with nothing over and we need to get that rejection back, that's fine. Because I don't want to be like, no, I'm not even going to write that offer. No, we'll write it, but and just so I can show you, and so I can be like, hey, I was right. But sometimes they just need to see it, and that's okay.
So what it sounds like, what sets you apart is, you know, this is what I like about you. You're a go-getter. You know what I mean? Especially at that price point, like you gotta hit the ground running and keep pounding the pavement, but steep. But James, here's the thing. If that mic goes any lower, you're going to be sitting on the ground. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that price point is such a hard price point. And I have also noticed some agents will not work that price point.
Yeah. I mean,
because it's not easy.
It's not.
No, it's not. I think
I've even noticed with lenders too, like if the deal is hard, it kind of goes on the back burner a little bit. Like, we're really not working this deal. I would rather work with somebody else. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Is that true or not?
I think in every business it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying you're going to pick and choose, but let's just be honest. Like, you got a deal that's got a lot of things to work through, right? I mean, and you got somebody that's like ready to go,
right?
Like you guys say,
right?
You're not going to like take away and say you're not going to work with that person, but you got to carve out some time to say, okay, how do we position that person? We're going to still work with you, but how do we position, and let's set the time. Let's be proper expectation.
Yeah.
You're going to be a month or two out, right?
Yep.
To get approval.
Yep.
Okay. I got somebody right now that's got to go out and they got to get in the house. They're ready to go.
Right. Yep.
Now, one of my things is that, you know, when a client calls me and they're not on the same page, number one is say, hey, look, if you don't get on the same page with me, right, I just can't work with you.
Right.
But let's just say if it's a challenging deal where we have to piece together, especially when it comes to the financing, because a lot of people are just not aware. They think, hey, I'm financed and I can go get a home. There's so much on the back end when it comes to the financing part. Sometimes you got to structure the deal based upon the financing, the debt to income ratio. And that's why it's very important to work with the right agent and also the right lender, okay? However, if the buyer puts the trust and the faith in me, right, and is listening to what I'm telling them to do, even though it's a harder deal, I will still work with them because they really want to get a home and they're putting their trust and faith in me. But if they're calling me and they're already having problems with the financing, how to structure the deal, but home's at 450 and they're like, hey, we're gonna write it for 430. No, I can't help you because we're setting ourselves up for failure.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only that, I've been in the business for so long. I've done so many transactions. I know what's going on.
Yep.
I'm not telling this to you so that way I can get one off on you and try to make more money. I don't have time for that. Right. So that's why we have to like streamline things and do things the right way. We've been in the business for a very long time. We know exactly what's going on and what the customary practices are in today's market.
Yep.
And the only way to do that is to have an agent literally that works full time, that writes multiple offers, and that's literally out in the field. That's the only way.
Yep.
And that's where the experience comes from. Now, the other thing, on today's news, I'm Chakits Kruksawat. I want to talk about townhomes. Unfortunately, if you cannot buy a home, a single-family detached home, the next thing is going to be a townhome. What is a townhome? A townhome is a two-car attached garage. That's right. So last week, the closing price was $336,250. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Let me retract that. Today is $336,250, right?
That's for a condo?
No, for a townhome.
Oh, townhome.
Okay. So, check this out. It actually dropped because last week was 340. Today is 336.
There's a crash coming.
I don't know, but it only dropped 1.1%.
You guys didn't. You're not agreeing. There's a crash coming.
Oh, wrong one. Let me try another one.
That's a cure. That's a.
Let me try one.
That's the first indicator. When we see just a slight drop on townhomes, we know a crash is coming.
But that's crazy though. Townhomes dropped 1.1% since last week, right? 5 days on the market, which is, we know it's still a strong market. 5 days on the market. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, condos. I've noticed condos since I've been getting into the condo market. Condo market has risen pretty dramatically. I remember, I think it was like 6 months ago, bought a condo for like 110. Now it's like medium price point across the board is a 240,000, right? We went from 7 days on the market now to 5 days on the market. Seems like the condo market is moving faster than
that's hot.
And that's
townhome.
Because it's like not everyone can qualify for condos, right?
Yeah.
You know, most of them are FHA's challenging.
Well, yeah.
Those
VA.
Well, think about this. If you take a look, cash, conventional, FHA, VA and FHA is probably like less than like 15% of the marketplace.
Yeah.
The rest is all conventional or cash.
I can't tell you the last time I did an FHA loan.
Yeah.
I do VA loans all the time.
And then just the high HOAs with the condos always get me. Like and that's fine. Hey, to each their own. You want to go buy a condo and pay freaking $350 a month?
Which you can apply that towards your debt to income ratio to get a home. But I think the problem there is, let's just say you pay extra $200, $300 where that would probably be another, I'm going to say $100,000 more, Dan, that your purchasing power.
Yeah, you could definitely go buy a house.
But the problem is that, look, if you're only qualified for, $250, but you're paying an additional $200 more, if you apply that towards your debt to income ratio, so now technically you could be approved for like $350, but the problem is that you can't buy a home for $350,000. You can barely buy a townhome for $350,000, but at $250, you still can buy a condo, but the negative side is you have the HOA fees of the $200.
Right. So what you're saying is, just to recap it, is you can go out and buy a house with no HOA. Let's say at $350. If you go buy a condo or townhome, and they have a $200, $300 HOA payment, you may only qualify with $175 or $200, and you have to qualify or compensate for the HOA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that really kind of tells you that, okay, now we can, put apples to apples, but maybe a home is a better deal because the resale purpose. I don't know.
Well, you're absolutely right. It is, but the problem is that the median price point is not 350. It's 485. That's that's the starting point. Yep. So that's where the challenges are. And I think nowadays, people just want to get into something.
It's in a trade-off.
Oh, I got a great idea. This is where we need to start marketing mobile homes, because that's the next one. Get into some mobile homes, baby.
Well, there's a time period, though, on mobile
I was being
homes.
sarcastic and having fun with it.
I was like, wait a second. I'm thinking, that's going to be some challenge there for me. I don't do them.
Real property, personal property.
I'm not a mobile home lender. So I'm just like... Remember that whole thing you talked about where you pick and choose?
Yeah. That's
I'm gonna take my get out of jail free card on that one.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that one too. We all got a card. There's only one card per game, but we all got a card. I don't know how we got that.
Sliding that in right now. Right. You all have a good one.
There you go.
Now, let me ask you this, James. What else are you seeing in the marketplace that you can let all the viewers know?
I mean, certainly when it comes to buyers, like I said, just keep all your options open. You know, trust your real estate agent. You know, they're the professionals in the market. Listen to what they're saying about, you know, how it's been going. Because like you just said, it changes from week to week, right? I mean, 4% change, you know. But I want to talk to the other real estate agents real quick too. Just, you know, never let your clients see that you're getting tired, ever. Just stay as positive as possible. You know, when that next offer gets rejected and you have to send that text or make that call, just finish that call or text with, but hey, guess what? Check the listings, send me more this week, and I'm ready to get right back out there. You know, I think that goes a long way. I've had clients after we get deals done that are like, man, you talked me off the ledge so many times. Like, I was so ready to be done with this, but now I'm so happy that I just got my keys to my new house, you know? So it's just, you know, it's life, man. We're all just trying to make it through, and whatever's meant to be is meant to be, and we just got to make it happen if we can.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. I always look at it from a consumer standpoint too. And from a real estate agent standpoint, I get it, right? Yeah. And I'm looking at it because, you know, you look at the real estate, you look at the lending. It went too quick, too fast in a short window of time. People are still trying to catch up to this market mentally.
Yeah.
Right?
Well said.
So, and I think that when you go into it and you're like, you know what? This is what you have to offer. When you say you have to walk the dog or walk it down, you know, the point is people have to sit there and think, man, I'm accustomed to this. I understand it's different now.
Yep.
But man, I have to go from this side and it's completely opposite now.
Yeah.
You're putting, you know, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 above list.
Right.
So it takes a while for people to register that.
There's a learning curve.
It's like, hey, let me kind of grasp this thing, right? And I think that's the problem. Is you can be a top-notch agent, and they might trust you, but mentally, are they ready?
Right. And sometimes, like getting back to what I said, sometimes they just have to hear that rejection. Hey, you know how we offered list? Yeah, it got rejected. We finished in 18th place. Oh, shit. Okay. You know, like, and it's just kind of part of the process. Yeah. Do I want to stay in that mode forever? No. And if I probably had a client that was like, no, I'm never going to offer over list price on anything, I might say, hey, listen, I'm not the agent for you.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'll give that a shot a few times, but then like, I'm doing you a disservice, and we're just not helping each other in this process. You know, like, just kind of is what it is. And hey, if the timing's not right for you, I'll work with you in 3 years. I don't care. 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, however long. I'm going to be hopefully doing this for a while. So I'll be here. You know, whenever you're ready, you come back, you know.
I want to say something. Do you think a lot of people are in the market because maybe they're ready, but they're not ready? Maybe they were pushed to be ready.
Because their fear of missing out on something?
Well, shelter cost, in my opinion, is going up. It's not just the fear. It's just the cost of living overall is going up.
I think
and it's a shell shock a little bit. You have a little, right?
Yeah, I think there's some FOMO. I think there's, you know, it's like when you're watching your buddy's crypto going, you know, to the moon, and you're like, oh shit, I want to get in on this, like, you know, or I'm going to get left behind.
But then the opposite is, you don't buy at the peak, you buy when it's at the dip at the bottom.
Yeah.
So am I buying at the peak, and am I going to be one of those casualties that have those properties that you know, lose value?
And that's what I'm worried about, because I do have a couple investment properties where I'm like, I don't know how high this market can go, and it's like, okay, I want to sell it because I'll make over like 1.5 million.
Right.
So now I have an additional 1.5 million, but you got 8% of inflation eroding away. Now the question is, where do I go park that money? Yeah. So it's like a catch. Then what happens is, now there goes my cash flow that I was getting on a consistent basis, right? But then it's like, now what?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things is credit worthiness today is better than it ever has been.
Yeah.
And people have equity, and they've positioned themselves better than the first or the last crash, we'll say in 2005, 6, 7, and 8.
Right.
So you have all this tons of equity. Do you cash out and reposition and put it into something else, maybe not real estate? Or do you just hold on to it and rent it out in cash flow?
Well,
That's
I mean,
the question.
Well, I mean, again, every asset class now is overinflated, so you don't really have anywhere to put your money unless you're willing to do like 2 or 3%. And that's why I'm saying I feel like people are in a position where they're holding on, right? They have some cash reserves, and they also have some assets, right? Tangible assets, and they're just kind of sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
But also, I think the reason why, another thing that the housing market is self-sustaining itself is because, and we talked about this long ago, and this is when we actually had a radio show on whatever that station is. Okay.
It's an AM station. You don't want to throw it out.
Yeah. Where nobody listened to. But anyway, I remember during that time period where when interest rates dropped so low to like 2.9 and everybody was refinancing, and I had this conversation with you, Dan, this is going to keep going until everybody refinance at like 2.9 or 3%, whatever it is. So now that it feels like everybody has already refinanced their home at this point. So if the market did crash, right, depending on the percentage, even at 50% in today's market, if it crashed at 50%, they still had like a 2.9%. Like, where are they going to go? Well, that's why you don't see any refinancing going on anymore.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You could still cash out refi. Now, let me say why I think what's happening here.
Because you can't move because you already have a lower payment. You already have a lower payment. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I mean, the rate and term, yes, I agree with you. Now,
and nobody wants to lose that. And let me just interrupt you for a second because I got to bring this out. Everybody right now is not really stuck about how much the home is. We are in a society today, right? All Americans right now is about how much my monthly payments are going to be. They don't care about what it costs. It's how much my monthly payment's going to be. A person like me cannot let a monthly payment go for $930 a month on a 1,700 square foot home. You understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
And when I'm in that kind of situation, I'm not going to leave to take that equity position, and I can't do nothing with that money. So again, that's where I'm sitting steady fast. And if the market did tank, right, I'm still at $930 a month.
Well, look,
that's my point.
Student loans might be taken out, right?
Yeah.
We know that could happen. Yeah. It sounds like it is. You have equity in properties.
A lot of equity.
A lot of equity.
What is it, like 80% of people are in equity?
Yeah, there was a thing that said that we had trillions of dollars. Like Americans have trillions overall.
Most equity probably ever. Right?
Yeah,
ever.
Correct.
Easily.
Here's the difference, though. You go back and you see all these things where everybody's leveraging. They're going out and buying Sea-Doos and boats, and they're not taking the money out this time and going buying it on stupid things.
Yeah.
Right? They're holding on to it. And I feel that a lot of people have learned from that last crash.
Yeah.
They've learned to say, you know what, this didn't work for my parents, or this isn't, I saw people go through this issue. I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm going to be the difference. And they're just keeping the equity in the property. The only time that I see people pull equity out is if they're paying off another bill, another debt, a car payment. Hey, what's the rate? They're smarter.
Yeah.
You know, people are just smarter overall today.
Well, that's not smart if you have a 2.9% mortgage and you've already paid 10 years into it. Now you're cashing out refinancing to go pay a credit card at 6%.
I agree.
When you should be focusing on, you know what, taking most of that money, focusing on the higher rate card, paying that down, and doubling down on the other one. That is not a smart thing to do.
I agree, but if you average household gained $95,000 in equity last year, right? Average overall. Mm-hmm. If you got that in a year, you've only paid on it for a year. There's only interest for a year. Reposition. Mm-hmm. That's what people are doing. Yeah. Now, is it everybody? No, but they're not even refinancing is what I'm saying. They're sitting on that equity and they're not doing anything with it. The only time they're going to do something with it is if they need to sell that house and roll it into the next house, or sell that house and move and do something else with it. But they're not spending it airlessly like they have, let's say, in 2005, 6, and 7.
Right.
Well, talking about selling homes, I want to let you guys know out there, if you guys have like a rehab home, you know, if it's $1 million or whatever it is, I'll actually be interested in looking at that home. But send me a DM. We are looking for a flip property. If I can't do that deal, somebody else would do that deal. But Again, send us a DM if you have a property. If you're an agent out there too as well and you have a deal, look, man, you guys can represent us. I don't even care. And even on the selling side, you can represent us too as well. As long as the numbers work, let us know. We're looking at properties all the way up to $1 million. So, another thing, if you can find one in the country club, I definitely would be interested in one in a country club. Now, where were we?
Oh, I got nothing else.
That's it? Yeah. Financial news, anything? You haven't done that lately, Dan.
Yeah, financial news is rates are crazy high.
That was a little bit too loud.
In today's world, rates have hit 5%. Credit worthiness is at an all-time high.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be drug out. Hell no. But no, on a serious note, let me ask you this, Dan. You said refinancing have stopped, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody sees this.
Yeah.
I mean, look, mortgage applications are down.
Even mortgage applications
are for down. Purchases.
Not for my God.
Just overall, like everybody knows things are slowing down a little bit, right? That doesn't mean they've come to a complete halt at all, but look, man, as the rates go, so does the market. And we see that the market has slowed down because, low inventory, high rates. And until we start to see, I would say, more homes on the market, that's the cure to all this.
Yeah.
Then we're going to continue to see this market where it's going to be a very volatile situation with mortgage applications, with prices going up, rates, how they're going to be flowing. I mean, there's a lot of factors to all this.
I got a question for you, Dan. James says, what is the average income of a home owners of $450,000? So I guess what he's asking is how much money do you need to make for a home at $450,000? That's what it sounds like.
Well, depending on, and that's a question that you have to ask another question, but I'll answer it where you say, okay, if I'm going to try to get a mortgage and this is my income, so you probably need to make at least, I would say, $6,000 a month with no other debt.
Okay.
Now, if you
there's more to it as far as, credit score.
Well, if you got other debt,
yeah,
right? Also depends on a lot of other factors, right? As far as, HOA, things like that, taxes on the property. I mean, do you need home insurance, mortgage insurance? Not home insurance, but mortgage insurance. Because if you don't need it, then you can qualify. You don't need to make as much. But it's going to be other layers to that question.
James, I got a question to you. Oh, thank you very much, Jay, for $1.99. Woo, super chat. So we got a question for you, James. Yeah. Why aren't investors paying full price?
Ooh, I don't know. Probably because they have millions of dollars in the bank and they're just willing to buy it up and they don't have to sell. They don't have to. Their investors got it all, man.
2 reasons. They're going to get a return on that rent.
Yep.
And the prices of homes in their thought process is that it's going to continue to go up.
Yeah.
I think
it's planting your money.
Yeah. Talk about rent prices real quick too.
Oh yeah. They're just going up like crazy. Where are you going to go make a doo-doo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be right back. It's about 5 minutes.
Okay. About 5 minutes.
You okay, right?
Yeah. This guy's like taking off mid-show because he got to go make a doo-doo.
What's wrong with that?
All right, go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Come on, man. Something's pushing.
Hey, so it's me and the brother. Here we go. So you know what's crazy, James, is a lot of investors are coming out here and they are paying above the price. And I think, one of the reasons why is because, we talked about this earlier, where it's like you have this money and it's like, where do you park your money, right? So it's like let's say you had $2 million in the bank. I mean, you're literally losing $160,000 a year. You might as well just take that money and buy some sort of property that yields you more than 8%. So at least, you're breaking off with inflation. Do you see what I'm saying?
100%. And then it brings up an interesting point too when you have to make an offer to say an Open Door or to Zillow or, whoever, like these big conglomerates that own a place, because it's like they don't have to sell it. And you'll see it too. You'll see they're usually an outlier. It'll be like it's the $599 house in the $499 area, and you're like, why is this? Oh, it's owned by Open Door, and it's like they usually list high and try to let the market just catch up to them,
because they can hold on to it because eventually it will just come up.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm starting to see is that there are big companies out there. I forget the names though, but I seen a report probably like 2 weeks ago where there's like 3 large companies right now, 1 out of Canada, 2 out of here, out of the U.S., and they are literally buying homes across, United States, and they're buying like thousands and thousands of homes.
Isn't BlackRock one of them? BlackRock?
No. This is another company.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the name. I read this article like weeks ago. I totally forgot about it, but until we're just talking about it now. But anyway, they literally are buying properties and just doing a little bit of rehab and literally just renting it all out. It's just crazy.
Slapping some paint on it, some new carpet.
Yeah, and you know what? These guys are making money. And I think the company in Canada right now, I need to research this though, but I think they are just literally publicly traded now. So, I mean, this company's like has billions of dollars, and that's all they're doing is taking that money and just buying properties. And it seems like eventually what's going to happen is the banks own everything.
Yeah.
And this is just going to be a nation of renters.
Yep.
Like even like apartment complexes, like if you literally drive down to 215, I think the company's called Anissa or something like that. I forget the name. Investor came out here, big company. They literally bought like over 5,000 apartment complexes. It's crazy. Yeah. And they're just like building like all over the place. And just like for the apartment complex alone, I think some of these units are renting for like a 1-bedroom, $1,600 a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, that's a bargain.
Oh, right. Is it really?
We laugh, and then it has 20 applications on it in 24 hours.
Hey, 6 years ago.
He's talking shit, and you know what? His rent went up.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I just want to say I'm repping my Where's Waldo shirt today.
And that's funny that you said that because somebody's like, oh, look at Dan. He got the Tommy Hilfiger shirt on.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love that tee.
Repping.
Yeah.
I just got to get let me get your glasses, bro.
Okay.
If you really want this to come to full circle, let me get those glasses.
Yeah, I got to get you one of these right here.
Let me see those real quick.
Let's see what Dan looks like. Got to have a little bit of fun, you know what I'm saying?
Make
sure it don't scratch my lens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see?
Oh.
They're cool, right? Put them on. Let's see what you look like.
Let me say something, man.
Yeah. You know, I got style.
Where did you get this at, man?
Australia.
Did you really?
Yeah. Dope, right?
Yeah.
Put it on. Let's see what you look like.
I don't want to scratch them.
Well, you're not going to... You actually kind of match with that.
Those look good.
Dude, he looks like a closer, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I was born a closer.
Dan, you actually look really good with that, dude. I'm telling you.
I drink coffee every day, bro.
Oh,
Coffee's for closers.
Coffee's for closers.
Oh, I drink energy drinks. What does that mean? James, I just want to say thank you so much, man, for coming on the show, dude. Yeah. Like, you could have been anywhere else. But you know what? You decided to come on the show, and I really do appreciate that.
Happy to be here, man.
And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of business here in Las Vegas that can go around for all the real estate agents,
100%.
okay?
Yep.
So if you guys are interested in purchasing a home, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have James' contact information in the link in the description below.
Appreciate it.
And James, you're on Instagram and all that stuff, right?
I'm all over the place.
Okay, well, I'm going to get with York. We'll put all that under the description. So if people want to get a hold of you,
appreciate it, man.
They want to start looking at homes, contact my man James. He's a down-to-earth kind of guy. Obviously, you know, he's an open book. He's a real dude, and that's what I like about him. And we got to support local businesses. However, if you're going to buy a $2 million home, don't call him, call me.
Call me when you're ready to sell it.
Yeah, call me when you're ready to sell. See, he's got a great personality. All right, guys, I really do appreciate each and every one of you.
Thanks, guys.
Dan, look at that, man. Finish the show. He is the man. Finish the show.
Ice cold.
On next week's show on Wolf Blitzer, you're going to have Chakits Kruksawat from Simply Vegas talking about the real estate and financing going on here in Las Vegas. Tune in live at 5 p.m. next Wednesday.
4 p.m.
Or 4 p.m.
Run it back.
Run it back. 4 p.m. Oh, I said, it's 7 p.m. Eastern time.
There you go. Quick math. I like it.